Hi, I'm Dr. Marla James. Peter has asked me to talk about Notebook LM and the way I use it in my classroom as an advantage for both myself and my students. Using Google's Notebook LM, I can upload textbook chapters, primary or secondary source documents, and create podcasts, study guides, timelines, summary notes, briefing documents, and FAQs in a matter of minutes. And using the audio overview feature for the podcast, it really does create, just as Notebook LM says, a deep dive into the content in which you've uploaded. For example, I had a reading about Peter the Great from an academic journal. It was a lengthy reading, literally ran 15 plus pages, and it was tedious for the students to read, but the content was really good. I uploaded it to Notebook LM, and now I have a podcast, and the students have a choice. They can listen to the podcast or they can read the lengthy document. In another case, in my U.S. history class, we're covering World War I, which happens to be chapter 19 in my textbook. I uploaded the ebook chapter, and the students again had a choice. They could listen to the podcast or they could read the textbook. Has this happened to you? In another class, AP European History to be exact, I had a lesson from last year that was housed in the Canvas LMS. And this year, when I went to access that lesson, I clicked on my link to a recording of a university professor giving a lecture, and the link was broken. The link did not exist anymore. I looked all over the web for that recording. YouTube, everywhere. I could not find it. What I did find was the transcript of that recording. So, Notebook LM to the rescue. I uploaded the transcript to Notebook LM, and I now have a podcast, which, to be honest with you, is more engaging for the students than the older recording of the university professor giving a lecture. Among the distinct advantages of Notebook LM is the ability to synthesize multiple sources. You can upload a secondary source document, 3 primary sources, a PowerPoint, and Notebook LM will synthesize the content. You can create guided notes, you can create questions from the material, and of course, the podcast. Now, the other thing I really like about Notebook LM is that it does not draw extraneous information from around the web. It takes information only from the sources that you upload to it. This is another example of synthesis where I was able to put together multiple sources. In this case, I was teaching a U.S. history class and we were working on the Great Society. The students had been assigned a collaborative project where groups were working on individual programs from the Great Society. Things like Head Start, the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, and each group created a PowerPoint presentation and then shared that with the class. When the presentations were over, I download them, and in literally one click, because you can see right here where it says upload sources, when you click on that, I went to my downloads and downloaded all 5, or uploaded, I should say, all 5 PowerPoints at once to Notebook LM. Then I asked Notebook LM to create a quiz for me. I asked for 15 open-ended questions pertaining specifically to the 5 PowerPoints. After that, I created a briefing document and a podcast so that the students could study from the briefing document and the podcast, and they would then take the quiz that I would convert to something usable in class. It generated the questions. I can't download from there, but I have the questions and was able to use that in class. This was done very quickly, so much so that I literally did this while the students were changing classes. So Notebook LM is a great tool. As I said, one of the advantages really is that it takes material only from what you upload to it. It does not extract material from elsewhere on the web and incorporate that into its output. I hope you've enjoyed this brief presentation. I know Peter has more for you, and I've also sent him the link for a couple of the podcasts, and maybe you could ask him to play them for you. Thank you. Enjoy.